Earmuffs.
Favorite part of the day. Favorite part of the week. Oh, yeah.
And now for something completely different.
This is Shug Jordan, coach of the Auburn Tigers.
Say what?
No.
It's pronounced
Jaden.
Yes!
Here we go.
Yes! Yes!
This is Shug Jaden, football coach of the Auburn Tigers.
Nice misdirection there, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's pronounced Jordan. Oh, boy. This is, by the way, welcome back to The Drive. Hour number 2, underway. Brought to you by our good friends at Knology. See them online at Knology.com. Stop by their Skyway office right off of Frederick Road in Auburn. 521-7000. They're fantastic. I've got them, and I highly recommend them. When they come to your neighborhood, make sure that you get them. All right, so we have a we have a guest.
A guest co-host.
A guest co-host.
Today.
All right, so talk into the mic. What's your name?
Sadie.
Hi, Sadie. Well, you don't have any problems at all speaking up, and that is awesome.
Sadie Henderson.
Hi, Sadie Henderson. What grade are you in?
First.
First grade. Where do you go to school?
Carrie Woods Elementary.
Yeah, who's your teacher?
Is Phillips.
Miss who?
Miss Phillips.
Miss Phillips. Shout out to Miss Phillips. Whoop, whoop.
All right, Miss P.
All right.
Yes, she's been, asking to come along.
All right. And you finally let her.
Take your daughter to work day. You know what I'm saying?
It happens to be take your son to work day, too,
I
because
know.
D-Man's right behind you there.
Did I see somebody, he won a scholarship to Cambridge or something today?
No,
What was it?
no. There's he goes to Auburn Classical Academy,
Okay.
and one of the students there won a silver medal in the national. And I don't know exactly how it all works, but there were 148,000 student competitors from all over the world.
Only?
Yeah, and it's this Latin competition, basically. He got the silver medal.
Him or
No, not
somebody
him.
at the school?
The guy got it at his school.
Oh, okay.
So I was just saying that my son goes to school with this guy. Listen, that's kind of how the Perkins. That's exactly right.
That deserves it.
That's how the Perkins clan is. Man, we just leach on to success and ride the coattails.
Yes,
that's what we
degrees
do.
Of success, inspiration.
Absolutely right. Well, let me tell you.
Tell me. Yeah. So yes. Go ahead.
Well, we just had Coach Spry on.
I know. I heard that was good.
He is the perfect kind of guy to be a coach. He's former military. He was an Army Ranger officer. He reminds me actually of one of my drill instructors, and he's a perfect guy to be a track coach because he's just quick.
Right.
He's just quick.
Yeah.
So he's got me all hopped up and just, man, just.
Yeah, he kind of had a Jay Jacobs voice kind of thing going on for a second.
Well, he just going.
He was a lot quicker than Jay.
Just going. I mean, just going. All right. It's pronounced Jordan. How are you, Jeremy? By the way.
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I'm living life.
You came in bringing
living
books.
large.
You came in bringing books again.
I know.
By the way, you tweeted before you came in when Slick saw that you were coming in. He said, "I wonder if he already has the new Glomerata." I said, "Oh, I know he does because he's already tweeted pictures of the front, back, and spine."
I have it not in my person. I've been getting it, but I have a copy that is waiting.
I got you.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes. No.
Because I say that I mentioned that because you've walked in with the 1970 Glom.
Exactly. It's Glom Week at the
Is it?
Oracle Reader.
Is it?
Right.
You know what?
Might as well be.
I should have. One of these days I've got to bring in the Glom that my dad did the artwork on the
I know.
inside cover of.
Yeah. What was it? 58.
I want to say it was either 58 or he was there from 56 to 59, and I believe it was either the 58 or the 59. I'd have to look.
That's amazing.
But yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, you got to do that. We could. I mean, heck, we could do a. That's a post right there.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, the Gloms. I mean, I could not do anything for the site. I mean, we say it's Glom Week. I mean, it could just be.
It's.
And I came up with a great name
it's
for
perpetually Glom time.
Right. I'm thinking of .comming Glomerotica. What do you think?
Ooh, Glomerotica.com.
Yeah,
I like it.
Don't anybody take that.
I like that.
What is it? Big Daddy? Fast Daddy,
GoDaddy.
GoDaddy,
Or Big Daddy.
Fast Daddy.
Fast. Big Daddy, Fast Daddy, and GoDaddy.
Yeah. So I brought this in, because the glom was being passed out this week, and we did a post earlier, and then because of that, I always try to think of something timely, so that I can draw back things to. And so the thing on the front of the front of the site right now is, and I just wanted to use that term hashtag
the Glomerotica,
just because it was a bunch of photos of the 74 glom, the glom distribution.
It just rolls off the tongue.
I know, it's
well,
great. I
doesn't
know
it,
and it's amazing. I can't believe it's only just now come to me. but it was like this embarrassing thing. It was like realizing like your wallet this whole time has been worth $1 million itself. I don't know how exactly it's like that, but for some reason
I kind of know what you mean.
It just felt like that.
I kind of know what you mean.
How in the world did I not? Anyway. Because, the 74 glom being the one with the streaking photos.
Yes, we know it.
Earmuffs, Sadie.
Yeah. She's got headphones on, so you turning your head when you say it doesn't really help.
I guess that's true.
It's radio, remember?
But she what was it saying? Yeah, but it was the 74 one being passed out and everything. And then there were some, scantily clad people in line to pick up the dang book. I'm telling you, man, it was a wild.
That was crazy time.
Sweden. That's what Halsell said.
It's like
Doc Trow with the oolots.
I saw.
Hey,
I saw David Halsell today at lunch. Actually,
really?
Yeah, at one of the local.
Did he ask about me?
Eating establishments.
Chappie's? No, he's a breakfast man at Chappie's. It was Chappie's.
Was.
He probably had stayed over.
No, he was there
camps
visiting
out.
some friends. Yeah.
That's where you want to go. If anybody wants to meet David Halsell every morning, that's where.
There's a lot of folks there today.
I know Kenny Howard, the trainer. There's like a whole It's like the Algonquin Round Table.
The publisher of the newspaper was there today.
Right. Yeah,
I mean, it was. Man,
that's where
you.
deals go down.
Apparently, not on the golf courses around here at Chappie's.
That's where I interviewed Rosenblatt. Rosenblatt's a regular, I think.
Yeah.
For the bow thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, right.
Okay, but
so
we
it's
digress.
Glom Week, and there's
Week.
several posts, and then that got me to thinking. And this is something that I've been wanting to tie into this book that I've been working on for a while, about the streaking in the 70s and the whole culture at the time and everything.
Right.
But there's this one particular story, and since it's another Glom-related thing, I was like, well, this would be a good time. But it's another exclusive. Just like last week, we had
last
the thing,
week
which
was an exclusive,
and I haven't even put that up there yet. So it's still floating.
It's still
exclusive. It's floating out there in the exclusive cosmos. And this one probably will too, because I've been working on this stupid story. It's not even that good, but it will be good. But the story behind the story is good. The story about the story. So yeah, right here in my hands, 1970 Glomerado. And when you get around these glom connoisseurs, you know what I mean, these like experts,
right? The glom,
and there are
glom snobs. I call them.
Exactly. When you get around glom snobs,
and
you're trading Glomerado back and forth with each other,
yes.
They'll tell you this, and they'll be like, that one's a collector's item.
The 1970,
but among the collector's item, and you'll be like,
it's the most highly prized.
Not the most highly prized per se, because that quality-wise, and we'll get into that later. It's actually it's an anomaly among these years. It's not done that well. The aesthetics, I mean, obviously compared to today,
right?
No offense.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But a lot of the photos are blurry.
Okay.
It's an exception to this rare, almost Gutenberg era.
Yeah, because they really are. I mean, the ones that I've got now are from my parents from the 50s, and they are absolutely
right.
I mean,
we're talking like textured pages.
Yeah.
Like a line of, there's some sort of term I can't think of, but yeah, I mean there's some
they're very
intense
nice
stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, this one but it's not necessarily the most prized, but it just has probably the most interesting story, maybe outside the the stricken thing.
Okay.
Because this book was burned.
It was burned.
Burned.
As in, like, we're gonna burn that book.
As in book burning.
As in, like Nazi Germany.
As in
like we're
Nazi.
Like Nazi.
So it's okay. No, it's not okay. But yes, exactly like that.
It was a bad book, and they decided to it was going to be banned, or there was protest, and people had a bonfire, and they were burning copies of it. Are you serious?
Yes.
Well, now we've set this up. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to a break, and then I want to hear about a glomerata being burned.
Say stay tuned, Sadie.
Stay tuned.
Thank you, Sadie. She did it much better than I could. More of The Drive when we come back. It's pronounced Jordan. Jeremy Henderson, he of the War Eagle Reader. And
Sadie
Henderson helping out. Say hi.
Hi.
All right. Very good. Well done. Okay, now,
right.
back to book burning and the glomerata. Two things that I never thought would bump into each other in the same sentence.
I know. It's weird.
Because the glomerata is a priceless work of art to me.
I know.
So the idea that somebody would burn it, why, Jeremy, would anybody burn the glom?
Well, the year, again, 1970.
A lot of stuff going on.
Age of Aquarius,
yeah.
where, things are happening.
Absolutely.
Culturally.
Yes. It's a topsy-turvy time, as they say.
Wacky time.
Yes.
And Auburn was not immune.
No.
However, Auburn was very much insulated from these times. The on the countercultural Richter scale, revolutionary Richter scale, Auburn's countercultural doings and hippie goings-ons, happenings, I think they called them, happenings.
Hippies goings-ons.
Hippie goings-ons. Hippie doings.
Gotcha. Okay. Hippiness.
We're barely tremors.
Yes.
Comparatively.
I understand.
And everything.
I understand.
But at the same time, that almost kind of made them stand out a little bit more.
Because there was such of nothing here.
Right.
That even that little bump on the Richter scale.
Right.
I'm with you.
Right.
I'm with you.
So it was anyway. So the 70 glom comes out, and the opening sections of the glom traditionally started with this, especially in the 60s, this kind of weird prose poetry kind of introductions about the meaning of life and fleeting youth and Song of Solomon, real kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like meaningless.
Sure.
We're all gonna, die.
A lot of Robert Frost kind of stuff.
Enjoy football while you can. Kind of stuff. Right.
Two roads diverged in a wood.
And I took 280.
And I took 280
exactly.
to Jordan Hare.
Right.
Okay.
And I missed both of them.
That's exactly right.
and
I just climbed a tree.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
So anyway, the opening section of this book, you're going along, right? And it starts out in Rebel, you call us.
Oh.
Heretic, too.
Oh, my goodness.
So we are rebelling against the pseudo-security of big armies, bigger bombs, biggest rockets. Now,
whoa!
Look at this artsy indention.
Whoa!
Make that random indention. no rhyme or reason to it, but it's it's art.
All right, it's supposed to be free form poetry,
right? And so the introduction, like the first photo, beyond this sunset on the title page,
which is like a beach somewhere,
right? Maybe with raw. It's not even has nothing to do with it.
It wouldn't even be Alabama.
This is probably
in California somewhere.
Right. California dreaming,
like Big Sur, maybe.
Exactly. Big Sur, that's where it is. It probably is Big Sur.
I have no idea. I just made that up. All right.
The first photos we've got the dead of Vietnam, like a poster.
Like a protesting,
right? Because there
poster.
were a couple of protest days,
right?
Let's not there was this moratorium thing. There was this other thing I can't remember, but that we had a couple of days, and so almost every photo on this introduction is like from one of these things. We got a guy, we got a dude wearing a black armband,
right?
One of like 800 that you will see crammed in like 20 pages,
book,
right?
Yes.
And we got this dude. That's obviously some sort of
there's
hippie.
a number. I'm just
this
glancing.
Dude's wearing a bandana.
There's 2 or 3 hippies. Look
at this long hair.
Kind of the typical hippie deal with like a flower hat and an American flag that's been stitched to the back of a Levi's denim jacket.
Man, you got a good.
I'm just telling you. Well, it's very Easy Rider-esque.
Right.
All right, that's the whole feel of this intro.
Exactly.
You expect to see Dennis Hopper in a gold, painted
and so
and
it just keeps going like this, like photo wise. And you've got some straights. You know what I mean? Some squares.
Some squares.
Yeah. And you've got a few like Auburn scenes, but a lot of them are just these, weird, blurry. I mean, what's going on here? I mean,
it's some kind of psychedelic drug trip
right,
down
this
there.
Is not Toomer's Drugs right here. I don't know where this is.
I don't know. There's drugs involved, but I don't think Toomer's drugstore.
You got here now. At least we do have a photo of the Rolling Stones concert, but of course that adds to the thing. And then we, look at this square guy. He's holding up an American flag
over his sweater vest. I mean, come on,
right on the concourse,
and he's got his hair cut.
He was one of the counter protesters.
Oh, good grief!
Of which outnumbered the others.
Right.
And then here we got this guy. Now you'll see him. They're having to recycle hippies in the opening section. So few, so minuscule. Was this scene that like you'll see this guy repeating
like the same guy
in
over
the opening
over.
section, which is supposed to be this just cross section. You know what I mean?
Right,
of like Auburn
right.
scenery and everything.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we keep going. So you
I can't believe I'm stunned that's it amazes me that got the press.
Yeah, well, there's
that's why
there's stories behind that. Fighting an administration that seeks to keep us sheltered, disagreeing with professors
my goodness.
who would have us regurgitate their ideas, but cringe when we chew our own and find them tasteful.
Oh man,
you label us radical, hippie, rebel because you are afraid. Now peep this photo to go along with because you are afraid. Now, it's this carefully staged silhouette of
somebody smoking something that's not
a young
not
man who is obviously smoking an illegal substance. Now, this is in the glom and everything, right? Now, before this, we've had the Playboy shots of dudes, in dorm rooms and some, beer and yuck. I think this is probably the first, narcotic.
This is so clearly an in-your-face at the administration counterculture type deal.
Right. Yeah, this is a big. The whole thing's middle finger.
Yeah, this is beyond college kids just having a little fun.
At least that's the way it comes across.
That's what they're trying to do.
At least that's right. The way it seems. Don't let our long hair scare you.
This is hysterical.
For in rejecting your silly prejudices and pat solutions, we support your timely benefits, supplying the manpower for a Peace Corps, Vista, Job Corps, and Head Start. And that's above a photo of some children, gathered around, pocket full of Posey or something.
Singing Kumbaya.
Dreaming of change? No, it's more. A realization, maybe.
Oh.
America must change. Auburn too,
of course,
or both will crumble.
Yes.
Now this is getting pretty. I mean, this is almost like threatening here. I mean, this is the diction of revolution. I mean,
it really
what
is.
I mean? I mean that right there. I mean,
right. They pulled that out of the little red book.
Right.
I mean, that's
exactly. You're labeling us radical here. Don't be afraid.
That's Uncle Joe right there. That's Uncle Joseph.
Exactly.
It's coming right out of the. They're all pinko commies. That's what it is.
They have to change or they will crumble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
This is our university, our nation, ours more each day and less yours.
Whoa.
Each time Sanford strikes because we are dissatisfied with both, we must alter.
Wow.
And there's no AU with that.
No.
There's no alter. This is straight alter.
Wow.
I'm surprised it doesn't have a, I don't know what I'm going to say.
Wow.
So we got more armbands. We got people reading the names of the dead, and we got some cheerleaders, to contrast and everything is like the, this is less yours kind of thing. Enemy of ghetto despair and conformity. This is my favorite line. Cold War children, we seek to establish a new world.
Wow.
This is brilliant. And then even the ref has a black armband.
Has a black armband.
You can include football as long as the ref somehow, wherever this was.
Sure.
1969, so this is like the 100-year anniversary, I think, of like collegiate football officially or something. I could be totally wrong.
Unbelievable.
We got a kid eating a cake. That makes sense.
Can we burn that? I'm sorry.
A world where peace is a thing of permanence and war only a gross memory, where love is the rule and hate the unacceptable exception. Then we have where a man's color is not his calling card to achievement and his race and creed are as irrelevant as Villager and Gant. No, we need something like MC5 or something to be playing behind this or something, like
I don't know if I've got anything
Grand
like that.
Funk or something.
I don't think I've got anything like that.
Not well. I mean, whatever. Anything. The hippies, they don't care. Not new. You say? That's better. Only an old dream of youth. Yes, but where other generations' dreams, our must act. So grab a young hand and walk slowly at first, then run, outrun napalm Washington and sectional prejudice, close-minded parents and delinquent youth, national apathy and universal fear.
Oh, good grief.
Don't shut us out. Now, this picture here is important.
Okay.
For later. Don't shut us out. Look again more closely, please. Listen gently, then join us, for we have faith in this single thought. There is nothing so powerful as an idea whose time has come. Black and white lightning bolt.
Yes.
Horrible design.
But is it
no offense?
But is it a black and is that a lightning bolt?
I don't know.
Or is that
the devil?
It almost looks like missiles being launched.
Oh, that might be it.
And a missile trail or something.
Oh, well, you
kind
might
of
be right.
kind of like a war thing.
Yeah, you
like
could
an
be
anti-war kind of thing. I'm surprised that there weren't like pictures of mushroom clouds.
Yeah, you're right.
Over Bikini Atoll.
There might have been something along those lines.
There's looks like a burnt cross.
They got like an ROTC guy with like a bayonet, like stabbing in an imaginary Viet Cong or something. Like anyway. Right. So this comes out, right? And actually the second day it was being distributed, was actually one of these big protests, and I'm ashamed. I can't even think of like the exact name for it. But it was like this big, like day.
Right.
But of course, like all things, the political overtones, protesting and everything quickly devolved into just like a stuff about extending curfew for girls, and then it eventually just collapsed into a panty raid.
That's okay. Wait a minute. Hang on. Wait, all right. Here's the deal.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna.
We haven't even. Oh my Lord.
I know.
Thank God we got an extra.
We've got 2 more segments.
All right. It gets good. I haven't even gotten to the.
I can't wait to hear how the horrible the protest turned into a panty raid.
It gets good.
Earmuff Sadie. All right.
Oh yeah. Ugh. I gotta watch it.
Wow. All right, more of The Drive. We come back. It's pronounced Jordan. That's what we're doing. The wildly popular It's Pronounced Jordan. Brought to you by thewareaglereader.com. Check them out. Don't be a heel. Donate.
Yes.
I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yes. Don't be a heel.
Don't be a heel. Donate. Don't be square.
Have we been playing that promo?
Don't be square. You know what?
Don't be a...
We should play that again.
I'm your obnoxious coworker. I once watched a Bama game and bought a Bear Bryant t-shirt at Walmart. Those 2 things alone make me the most insufferable Bama fan on the planet. And I just moved into the next cubicle. And if you read all those other websites and listen to all those other shows, you may not be able to rebut my claim to 39 national championships. That's why you need Jeremy Henderson and thewareaglereader.com, and It's Pronounced Jordan on The Drive, to save yourself from Bama fans like me.
Oh yeah. This reminds me.
Yes.
The Updike sample reminded me.
Yes.
Sadie is the one. When it came time, all this talk about attractive intersections, structures for tumors, and we were thinking alternatives and what's going to happen and everything. Yeah. Sadie is the one that she came up with the most original idea that I had heard.
And what
was it, Sadie?
Like if we win, we have a water balloon fight.
at Timber's Corner.
I love it. I think that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Instead of rolling with toilet paper, we just throw water balloons. Oh, that was her idea.
At the Bama fans.
Yes, exactly.
That's a joke.
All right. Okay.
Only we put bleach in them.
That is
put the button.
Water.
Right. I had that happen to me once. That's why it came up.
Okay.
Bunch of girls.
All right, now let's talk about this protest. They're giving out the books, right? They're giving out the gloms.
They give them out. People are kind of looking, and they're like, "What is going on? This is not the Auburn I know." So that week after they're being passed out, all of a sudden, people start. You see in Haley Center. The bulletin board, on the walls. Pages of the glom ripped out, right? Ripped out, stuck to it, fuel for Thursday's fire. There is a fire.
Whoa.
There's a fire planned. We're going to burn this thing.
The students are so upset that the gloms that their money has gone to pay for.
Student fees, exactly.
And they are just livid.
They go, and I'd heard about this. Somebody told me like burn, that it was burned. Well, one of the guys that I've gotten, our huge archive of never before seen photos. And everything. A guy named Brad Ashmore used to take photos for the OA News. And he has I was going through his stash and everything, and I'm looking, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is totally what it is. And there they are in the parking lot of the baseball field at the time.
Right.
There are two,
50-gallon drums?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Building and ground set up on cinder blocks. Flames reaching to the sky.
Wow.
And there they are. There are people. They're all. There's maybe like 100 people, and they're sitting there and they're ripping the pages out. They're tossing them in there, right? They're tossing the pages. They're burning. They burn. Well, I'll get to that later. But they're sitting there, and it's even raining. People have come out, and it's raining,
in
and
the
they're
rain
still burning
to
these
burn
things,
this thing.
Right? People are coming. They're roasting marshmallows.
That's awesome.
Over the burned globs.
Awesome.
S'mores a la hippie. I mean, it's amazing, and you're just like, I can't believe this. This is 1970.
It's a glom weenie roast.
Right, exactly. This is 1970, and I've got all these photos of it, and it's amazing. And you're just like, I can't believe this is going on. And so I started tracking down. I was like,
there's got to be somebody. There's got to be somebody that was there.
So I tracked down the editor.
Oh, you're kidding.
Of the book, Liz Sauber, lives up in Pennsylvania. She was a Yankee.
Of course.
She was a transplant. Wasn't a hippie. Wasn't a troublemaker. Was a nice, good Christian girl, but she was just trying to, she's got this kind of, she's going to educate us and help us, open us up to new worlds.
Right.
And tolerance.
Right.
Capital A, AU.
Us backwoods.
Right. Well,
uneducated.
And it was
intolerant.
And she was totally kind of like shocked, in her mind. And I think she knew. She said it was quote unquote cutting edge and everything.
Right.
But she didn't expect this. And
outrage.
And she was pretty dang scared. I mean, it was pretty intense. She was getting like hate calls. I mean, this, we're joking about, but this was kind of this was intense stuff. She's getting, she's getting called names. She was burned in effigy.
You are kidding.
In between, I'm going along in the photos. Then all of a sudden, I'm looking and I'm like, oh my gosh, there it is. They've burned her in effigy between the two, the two drums. Of burning gloms.
All right, that might be
let's go.
That's sometimes you don't know where the line is till you step over it.
Right.
That's one of those where you
burn it.
That's one of those where you go, that might have been a bad idea.
Right. So it was. So she, she got out of Dodge quick. She graduated and left, and still has a hard time kind of believing, that it all happened and everything.
So was she a senior that year? I guess if you're the editor,
she was a senior,
and
she was married to the business manager, for like the Glom and everything. And there was a they got called before the publications board. Right, which technically oversaw this thing and should have had a big deal.
Should have known before.
Right,
should have known it was coming.
Right. And let's just say, it was a little lax. Let's say as far as their things. And speaking of the '74 Glom, that's why they were so wary with these pictures. And there's this whole other stories behind how those photos actually got into it, which kind of relates to this. But they were real wary. They didn't want to do it because this was still fresh in the memory.
Well, sure.
And they
didn't want another. They didn't
want their book burned. You know what I mean? So they were wary about, but then that just shows you how much has changed. 4 years ago, we're getting books burned because they're too out there culturally and everything, and then 4 years later there's nudity in them. and one of the reasons I actually called one of the photographers, and one of the reasons that he thought that people were so upset is if the opening section wasn't enough, and this just goes to show you the whole book is the beauty section in here, right? And they're in color, but there's not nearly as many photos and everything, and they're a little more cash. And granted, we're going along, and the years are getting everything. And I mean, what is this? Like sequin rainbow
beauty section. I didn't know there was a beauty section.
Oh yeah. We just did it. And see, in the '69 book, right, the year before, these girls are wearing $33,000 worth of Saks Fifth Avenue clothes. A stylist from Saks Fifth Avenue has come down. They're taking them to the Atlanta Historical Society. They're posing them amid the greenery and everything. And they're it's like something out of Vogue, like the entire section. I mean, these girls are just like in gowns and everything, like these goddesses, thrown up. And then here they're just kind of, we got some. I don't know. That was just little.
It doesn't. It just. They just kind of look like.
It's a little blasé. It's a little. They're not being given. They're not the veneration. That they deserve, that the Auburn woman deserves,
right?
And they're beautiful, and so that's just going to come through no matter what and everything. But
sure.
I mean, everybody else and the other ones are wearing like gowns and everything. I mean, this is still
they're more like glam shots.
Exactly.
These look more like your high school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So,
wow.
Anyway, so that was another thing. So Liz, they get called before the publications board.
Okay.
And I actually talked to Emily Perry, who was like the art director of this thing, and she went with her. And there were people there. There were citizens, like concerned parents and citizens there to be like demanding like what is going on. Philpott's getting letters. This book is a disgrace. This does not represent Auburn. I can't believe, is this what I paid my daughter to come down to? And they're like, this is not, what's going on.
We sent her here from Florida so that she wouldn't have to put up with this kind of stuff.
And Emily Perry said, she's like, I vividly remember one man looking to me and saying, why is there? Well, anyway, it's a touchy subject, I suppose. I'll save it for the site. but basically, just it went back to the prominence as far as the beauty photos and everything. So I've got photos of this thing, the burning.
I can't wait to see those. I cannot wait to see that up on the site.
It is amazing, and it's this is exclusive, and I hesitated. Because this is the story I've been sitting on, Rich.
Well, yeah.
I mean, this is like a big one because of the photos.
It is a big one.
The photos are just incredible.
Well, listen, the opening. Listen, you really have to. I hope you put. Can you put pictures? Can you like? Are you going to put?
Glom
That's what I mean. The pictures at the beginning of the glom are just priceless. I mean, they really are. They really are hysterical.
But we can't be too hard on these guys.
No.
Who burn the books because they may have just learned it from their parents.
Uh-oh. I can't wait to hear about that. That's going to come up next. All right, hold on to that. Say it again.
Stay tuned.
Ow. All right. I better do as she says. More of the drive, and it's pronounced Jordan right after this. Welcome back into the drive. Rich and Jeremy Henderson with thewarriorreader.com. It's pronounced Jordan. We're talking about the burning of the 1970 glom, and from what I'm hearing, this is learned behavior.
This is not the first time.
I find that very difficult to believe that.
Yeah, it's getting. I mean, this is getting kind of weird now. You know what I mean?
It really is.
Burn me once, shame on you.
Burn me twice, shame on me.
Shame on our entire.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what's going on
the Utes.
But yeah, I actually heard about the 70 one first.
Okay.
And then I picked up and I technically heard of it. I think I'd heard about this, but I just buy gloms whenever I see it.
Sure.
So of course a 1955er comes along, and I crack it open, and I've got all these articles.
Newspaper articles that have been folded up inside this glom that you buy. Now, where did you buy this? You buy this at a
Yellowed. Actually, I believe it or not, I got this at the newsroom bookstore.
Yeah, used bookstore.
Years ago.
Okay.
And in 1955.
Yeah.
Sorry,
that's fine.
In 1955.
Okay.
A guy named John Sellers was the editor.
Okay.
And it came out, and it's another good one. It's got these great designs on it and everything. And what he did, though, what got everybody's dander up, is that John, in the Greek descriptions and everything, like the sororities and like the fraternities, instead of just being like the noble brothers of Lambda Chi Alpha, are very good. He basically got real snarky, with AU.
Okay.
Snorky. And was making little jabs here and there about
he was
intelligence.
He was deriding the Greek population,
right? Imbibing things, sororities. He was jokes about weight. Maybe hinting at morals.
Improprieties,
hinting as if that even it was supposed to be funny because that didn't go on
exactly.
So it was kind of supposed to be
tongue in cheek, right?
Kind of like tongue. I'll stop. Okay.
Everything is spelled with AU.
That's the thing. But anyway, and so lo and behold, like he gets
Glomeratica, by the way, has got to be AU.
Exactly.
Glomeratica.
Right. Call. Yeah, everything.
Okay.
So he gets dragged before, the publications board and everything, and FOI and yada yada. And they're having the Plainsmen got like a hold of the book early, and so they'd almost kind of poised everyone's mind to this thing.
Boy.
And they cried.
Okay.
The Plainsmen and the Glom, they all they hated each other and played football games and sabotage. It was
right.
It was not a good
right
thing. Anyway. Anyway, so he was apologetic, but in a couple of things you read it, you know what I mean. It's tame today,
right?
But nobody would think twice about it. But the same, back then, people they had to pay for their yearbook, their pages to get in there and everything.
Eisenhower was president, for the love of Pete.
Exactly, right. And so, I'm sure this was going on much worse at other places. So Sellers, and he was like somebody's son. I should know more about this. Son of Montgomery's newly elected city commissioner, Clyde Sellers.
Oh yeah,
maybe you've heard of him.
Absolutely.
And
big wig, big time.
Big. You're right. So this added in an extra element of sensation. But it was making the wire. I mean, this was like a big deal. It's like in all the papers and everything. And so the students weren't just ticked off. There was a bonfire. It said about like 50, I think. Who knows? But there was a bonfire, and they're burning the book again. And this time they weren't satisfied with effigies. I'm not sure if they did it. They just went ahead and took it up a notch. They were going after him.
You're kidding.
They were like marching. I'm imagining torches and pickets.
I'm imagining the scene out of Young Frankenstein,
right,
where they're all with pitchforks and torches, and it's in the middle of the night, and
we probably would all know about this had it not been for the heroics of one Fob James.
Of course.
Right? Now, Fob, we will read the story. It went thus.
Fob, the open-minded person that he was.
He
clear thinking.
Right. So remember Dean Foy's.
Oh yeah.
Demonstrations control committee, his goody two shoes goon squad,
yeah,
right, that would try to get in there and diffuse situations.
Yes.
So I'll just read from the it's this biography of Fob James, and this just tells the story a little bit better. Retired Auburn Dean James Foy, venerated dean of students at Auburn, and blah 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 blah, remembers the situation. The editor of the 55 Glom had a sense of humor. Blah blah blah. Feature writer on the staff of the student news.
That's exactly. This is actually what the book says. He's reading it word for word.
You talk about prose poetry. I mean, they're experimental up at this thing.
Wow.
I've seen it happen before, said Foy. What starts out as a group of angry people becomes a mob. After tossing yearbooks into a bonfire, the students began to march toward a fraternity house where they thought Sellers would be, chanting, "Where's John? Where's John?" You know the Where's John chant.
Yeah, it's very popular marches and chants.
Foy got a call from Sellers asking for help, saying, "They're after me."
Wow.
He just Foy's like, "Hello? They're after me. They're after me."
Dean Foy! Dean Foy!
The students,
they're after me.
As a method of crowd control, Foy said he asked James and several other responsible students, the DCC,
yes,
who were known by most of the students' body, to mingle with the crowd and calm things down. The students came storming in on campus, headed for the frat house where the editor was. Brian said, I remember Fob stopping them in front of the house, standing in front of the door and telling them nobody was going to destroy property or hurt anyone. No one was going to come through that door. So here goes this angry
Well, this
Fob,
is like a George Wallace at the school moment.
And Fob, the football star, exactly, like stands up and says, like, you will not harm this man, you know.
Good grief.
And anyway, so, yeah, I mean, Auburn has this, you know,
there's a little
history of book burning.
Well, I'm just saying, we are passionate people.
Passionate.
We are passionate people.
It just comes out.
Sometimes it's not always directed in the right direction.
But at least it comes out.
But it does.
And it makes for good stories.
It makes for excellent stories.
Right. So that means...
Now, let me just say, if you're a student now and you're not happy with something, don't burn. Don't burn a book. Just ignore it. Just ignore it.
They didn't have, internet comment threads back then.
This is true.
I mean, if we didn't have those, books would just be getting,
that's true.
Computers would be being burned.
That's true.
Website attacks. I don't know what I'm saying. But yeah, I mean, obviously today, I mean, people are a lot, actually, nastier today, but they just don't.
They have a less harmful outlet,
right? Because you're instantly gonna get on the O'Reilly factor or something if you do anything like remotely. You know what I mean? This kind of stuff. I mean, this would have been national. You know what I mean? Students marched toward. You know what I mean? Like this would have been
headline news would be all over it.
Right, and I mean you wouldn't be able to. People would be denounced. There'd be ACLU would get involved.
Oh, good grief!
I mean it'd be huge.
Yeah, lawyers.
So that's it's Glom week, and I mean technically it's Glom year. It's Glom life.
It is Glom life.
It's Glom life.
It's Glom
tattoo.
It's a Glom life.
On my stomach.
That would be excellent. I think if I get another tattoo, I'm just getting one more.
Another?
Well, I've got one, but it's my fraternity letter, so it doesn't really count.
Oh, okay.
It's on my ankle, so that's. I had to. It's a funny story. Do you want to hear it?
Sure.
All right. I made it through 4 years of the Navy without getting a tattoo. When I got out of the Navy, I came to school. I joined a fraternity. I became the rush chairman. My second year, everybody, we were trying to hit a certain number. A bunch of the brothers were going to go get their letters. I said, no, I made it through 4 years. I'm not getting my letters. And they said, come on, all the cool kids are doing it. I said, I tell you what, if we get X number of pledges that make it all the way through rush and pledge and become full-fledged brothers, then I think it was something like 20 or something. I threw a number out there that there was no way in the world they were ever going to hit.
They always hit it.
And they hit it +1.
They always hit it.
And this was back in the days when there weren't 3 really respectable tattoo parlors here in town. You had to go down to Victory Drive in Columbus. And some guy that's swilling a bottle of Jack and smoking a stogie. It's going to hurt just a little bit. How big you want it?
That's good.
That's
noble.
Right. Yeah. So I got that one. If I ever get another one, it's going to be something useful. Like, well, something like I might like on my chest.
Drive.
Dear doctor, please try CPR one more time. That'd be
good.
Like something something like that. Something
like
useful.
Memento. Isn't that what he was doing? No, he was just writing.
He was just writing notes.
What it was.
And it's never stopped us from commenting before. All right, we're going to another break. Sadie,
stay tuned.
Very well done. All right, final few moments of the drive as we wrap things up. It's Pronounced Jordan, an hour-long episode, and an hour-long next week. A special week next week. It's Pronounced Jordan will be Friday at 5 o'clock instead of Thursday because Ron will be here and I will not for a change.
On Friday?
I know.
It's just Ron?
It's just going to be you and Ron.
Not the Birch?
No,
the Birch is
the Birch will be we call him the Sycamore. He will be because he's calling the baseball game.
Oh, right.
So he's got to go do baseball. He'll be in on Thursday, but you're going to be in on Friday.
Okay. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, set your iCals.
That's exactly right.
Go ahead and get this ready.
All right.
And next week, Sadie.
All right, Sadie, go ahead. Say what you.
Anything.
Where are you going?
Perfect. That was perfect.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sadie.
Absolutely. That was fantastic.
Thank you for joining me. It was a big help.
It was.